Okay, so again, good afternoon and welcome to the business research methodology course. And I think you received the course guide, isn't it? Shall I share the course guide?
We have received.
Okay, then this is the course guide. I think you can see the screen, isn't it? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so this is actually the course guide for you, and then I don't discuss all those things. Simply, I will go through the most important section of the course guide. Now, basically, your syllabus, and from 17 section onward, you have the syllabus. Then basically, we have to do the introduction to the research methodology course. Then today, I will cover that part. And then we have discussed a lot of things, especially research methodology. Then you have to identify research problem to continue your research. And then you have to have idea about various type of research design. And then remember, you have to collect a lot of data for your research, data collection method. And then sometimes you have to measure your variables. For that, then we have to discuss about various type of measurements and scalings. Sampling, I think you discussed sampling and statistics. Somehow we have to do it. And data analysis and some statistical tests also need to discuss. But remember, these 7 and 8 highly linked with your statistics. I think you covered statistics in previous semester. And then at the end of this course, you have to develop a research proposal, right? So I will guide, and at the same time, I will inform you to contact another lecturer, especially from your subject area. And then we will do, right? And remember, this subject is a little bit difficult, or let's say a little bit boring, right? Not like other subjects, because a little bit difficult to understand research methodology. But time to time, I will give a lot of exercises, and then you have to, do all those exercises, right? Otherwise, you can't, develop a proper proposal for your research. So please make sure, to complete your task, weekly or monthly task on time, right? Otherwise, you can't complete let's say the valid research proposal at the end of the semester. So you have a huge responsibility. Simply, I will guide you, and you have to read a lot of, let's say, research papers. You have to collect a lot of research papers. You have to read them. You have to prepare a lot of, let's say, documents. Then they are actually your responsibilities, right? So remember, this subject, this is, I think, your first semester. Then second semester, you have to complete a dissertation based on your research proposal developed at the end of this semester, right? So I think it's clear. So therefore, please make sure, about your assessment, or let's say about your task, you have to complete given task on time. Otherwise, you can't postpone task of this subject, right? That's the main thing I want to highlight here. So with that note, we'll move to the lesson. Today, I will discuss about main, let's say, basic things which are highly linked with the research activities. And basically, you have to have idea about, again, the terminology. What are the main, technical terms, and what are the, concepts, basic concepts of research. So those things we'll discuss within next 2 hours period, right? Okay. If you have any doubt or any clarification, please ask questions, or at least try to send your questions through chat. Otherwise, I think at the end, you have to face a lot of issues. So please try to, clear your doubts and issues, right? So that's from my end. Okay, then we'll move to today's lesson. Lesson 1, Introduction to Research Methodology. I think you received this PowerPoint presentation, isn't it?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So we'll move to today's presentation. So first, you have to have idea about the meaning of the term research. So what is research? Now, this is again a simple, let's say, word, but this word consists of two, let's say, two words, combination of two words, tree plus search. Now, we know that tree means again and again. You have to do a thing, let's say, you are trying to do the same thing again and then again, then let's say reschedule, reorganize, restructure. You do the same thing again and again. Now, here also you are going to search. And you are going to research again, and you are going to search it. That's the simple idea behind the term research. So it means you need to do a continuous effort, or you have to take continuous effort to complete your research, right? So therefore, you have to collect a lot of information. You have to search from, let's say, various journals, from various books, from again from websites, again by using available directories, right? So you have to collect a lot of information for your research. So that's the simple idea behind the term research. Need to collect required information again and again. You have to read them again and again. You have to search them again and again. You have to find out all those information again and again. That's the idea of research. So research means again and again find something, right? Now let's say if you select a topic, then definitely another person, already conducted the research on the same topic by using, let's say, another industry. Now you are going to do the same research for another industry. Now the meaning is actually you are going to find something or the same issue by using another industry. So that's the idea. So therefore, research simply try to identify something, or let's say solution for existing problem again and again, right? So here observe phenomena again and again in different perspective by find out something. Now remember, one phenomena can be observed in different perspectives. So that's the most important thing. This sentence, this one phenomena can be observed in different perspectives. Now here, I think altogether now we have, let's say 6. Now let's say, now I think all of you know about current economic crisis, isn't it? If I give an exercise, let's say, critically evaluate the reasons for current economic crisis, or provide solutions to overcome existing economic crisis. Then all of you know there are 6 students. Then your observation, let's say student 1, first student's observation completely different from second student's observation, or his recommendation completely different from second student's recommendation. So that's the thing. Then the way you analyze the existing problem, or where you identify issues, or where you recommend policies, completely different. That's the thing. Therefore, if I give same topic for 6 students available at the moment, then your opinions completely different. That's the thing. So can have different type of idea, or can have different type of recommendations, because you observe the same issue in different perspectives or from different point of view. That's the thing, right? Therefore, the research is a huge process. It consists of observation of existing issue or a phenomena again and again, especially to identify or provide, let's say, a conclusion or provide recommendation for the existing problem. So that's our task. Therefore, remember, you have to identify a research problem, and at the end of your research process, you have to provide your recommendations, or let's say your, suggestions. So that's actually the end of your, end of the research, or let's say dissertation, right? Okay. Then again, it explained like this way. Then therefore, research is a common phenomena to investigate the solution of an existing problem. As I mentioned earlier, you have to identify a problem. That's the thing. Now only, I mean, from now onward, try to identify a problem available in an organization, in our society, or in our economy, right? And again, you have to identify the particular problem and try to do, you have to do kind of a, let's say, study by using your theoretical knowledge, right? You have to connect various theories you studied here at the classroom for the particular problem to identify alternative solutions. So remember, this is actually link of practical and theory both. It means first now you have, I mean, idea about all those theories. You studied about human resource management theories. You already studied marketing management theories, operations management theories. Then it's say economic theories, financial management theories, right? It means concepts, principles, and theories. Now you are, I mean, well equipped with theories. Now through research methodology and through research, we are going to expose you to the industry, or let's say expose you to the practical scenario. So therefore, now you have to use your theoretical knowledge to solve a kind of a practical problem. So that's the main target of this course as well as your research component. We try to identify the ability of our students to solve practical problem by using your theoretical knowledge. So that's the thing. Therefore, you have to have clear idea about the things you studied at the classroom. And in addition to that, you have to identify a problem or an issue available in our society or in an organization or in the economy or globe, right? So that's the thing. So that's the thing. Research is systematic. Research is common phenomena to investigate the solution of an existing problem. That's what I mentioned. And through that process, definitely it helped to generate a new dimension of knowledge. It definitely, through your findings, you can generate a new knowledge, or you can add additional thing to the existing theories or existing concepts or existing knowledge. That's the simple idea, because at the end of your research process, you have to mention the importance of your research, or let's say significance of your study. To whom, I mean, who are the beneficiaries of your research, right? Then I will explain with that part later. But remember, it will help, I mean, after complete your research, definitely it should help to a particular group, or let's say group of students or group of investors, group of business organizations, right? So that's the thing. Then as the second definition for research, second bullet, research is a systematic collection, analyze, and interpretation of data to provide new solution for a problem which contributes to expand the existing knowledge. Again, all those things available. Now remember, research is a systematic mechanism or systematic process plus scientific process. You have to use scientific process. Approved, or let's say approved or systematic mechanism is there, that is called research methodology. So you have to apply the research methodology properly. That's why it mentioned research is a systematic process. Then the systematic process include systematic collection of data. You have to collect a lot of information from various sources, secondary data or primary data, through, let's say, interview or a questionnaire or various other observations, various other mechanisms. So therefore, you have to collect a lot of information to conduct your research. It should be a scientific mechanism, or let's say systematic or formal mechanism. And then after you collect your information, you have to analyze them again systematically or scientifically. There are a lot of data analysis techniques available. Now, I think you have the idea about statistical software, SPSS, then let's say Minitab, or let's say simply Excel. There are, I mean, you can use those statistical softwares to analyze your data. Even, I mean, manually you can do it, but nowadays there are large number of statistical softwares available. Therefore, you don't need to take additional effort to do them manually. So you have to analyze collected data or information, primary and secondary data, systematically as well as scientifically. And then after you analyze those data through, let's say, SPSO, Minitab, or whatever the software available with you, you have to interpret your results. So that's again your responsibility. You have to interpret the results you identified from the particular analysis. And then you need to identify issues. And at the beginning, you identify the problem. So definitely, at the end of this research process, you want to provide solution for those problems or solution to overcome those problems. Then those solutions actually may be policy proposals, policy implementations. Then definitely it will help to expand the existing knowledge, because you added new thing to the existing knowledge through your recommendations or through your policy implications. So that's the idea. So please memorize these 2 bullets. These are actually definitions for the research, or let's say research methodology, simply the research, right? So these are 2 definitions for the research. So a research is, therefore, now these 2 definitions include these 2 portions or 2 points. Research is a problem-centered process. If there's no issue or a problem, no need to collect data, no need to analyze it, no need to provide solutions, isn't it? If there's no problem, do you want to collect data? Do you want to analyze them? And do you want to provide solutions? Is it required? Yes, please. So remember, research is a problem-centered process. Therefore, the first task, of all of you, identify a researchable problem, because this is a problem-centered process. And the second point, important point of the process, the research is a systematically developed process for what? Find an alternative solution for the identified problem. So first you want to identify problem, then you have to, there's a problem, there's a process, huge process called research process. Then at the end of the particular process, you want to identify alternative solutions to overcome the identified problem. And remember, through that process, definitely contribute to the existing knowledge. Definitely will expand the existing theoretical aspects, existing knowledge in the particular subject area. So that's the simple idea behind the term research and the purpose of the research. I think you got the point. Right. Now here, research simply seeks the answer of certain issues, problems, which has not been answered so far. Now, the research, somehow you have to identify an issue or a problem. No? It means if there's a solution, no need to recognize it as a problem. No? So definitely you have to identify a problem which has not been answered so far. If they already identified an answer, then no need to conduct another research for the same, right? So that's the thing. So definitely you want to identify a problem, not yet identified a proper answer. So that's the thing. And the other thing is, if there's no exact answer for that, then definitely you can't do the research for that. Now, examples. Early people did not know what exactly the sun and moon are. right? Then they did a lot of experiments. They did a lot of research to identify the nature of the sun or nature of the moon, because they didn't have the knowledge, or let's say idea about the moon or the sun. So they conducted a lot of experiments. They conducted a lot of, let's say, research to identify the nature of the sun or nature of the moon, right? Then another example, now we know that people have different beliefs, right? Now let's say Buddhism, they have their own beliefs. Muslim people, they have their own beliefs. Then Catholics, they have their own beliefs. It depends on their, let's say, culture or their religious or their nationalism, etc., right? Then the thing is, people try to find solution for those dilemmas, thinking different way or thinking innovative way. Now Buddhisms, now they consider, they always, let's say, believe rebirth. But I think Catholics, they don't believe rebirth. I think even Muslim or let's say Islamic, they don't believe rebirth, but can investigate whether we have another birth, rebirth, right? They were able to give concrete answer for those problems. The thing is, you can study a lot of, past research activities. Again, you can collect information. If you have accurate information, you can prove the particular issue or the particular argument. So that's the thing. So remember, some research problems, can identify based on people's, or let's say individuals' beliefs, right? So those are some of the examples. Then research answers only the problem of which clear answer is not available. That's also true. If you don't have a clear answer, then definitely you have to study it. Now research means simply study, right? Ignore the term research. Research means again and again you try to collect information, or you try to find accurate answer for the particular problem or the issue, right? Then if there's no clear answer for the existing problem, then definitely you have to run or you have to conduct a research. Research answers only the problem which clear answer is not available. If there's 100% clear answer available, no need to do a research. Now let's say medicine. Now still I think there's no exact treatment for COVID. And it's a researchable area for medical students. Now there are a lot of, I think, injections available or identified treatments available, but they are 100% and they are not 100% accurate. So still it's in experiment level. Then it's a researchable area for medical students. How to overcome COVID-19. Because still we have that threat, right? Now even China, now they have another version of COVID. Even in Sri Lanka, there's another influenza that are also similar to the COVID-19. It means the identified, treatments are not 100% accurate. It means still there's a problem about COVID-19. You can research it. We can't do it because we are not from medical background, but medical students, or let's say medical background people, they can conduct research for that to identify the solution for overcome COVID-19, right? Okay. So, and not available in human knowledge, thus research seeks the answer only the problem, which is unresolved so far. That's what I mentioned, not yet solved. Then you have to recognize it as researchable problem. So definitely the answer for the research problem or question generates new knowledge. Let's say now one of medical students conducted a research to identify a proper treatment for COVID-19, and then today they recognize another treatment. Then definitely that additional thing to the existing knowledge. Existing situation, we know that we identify, we have 5 types of injections for COVID-19. But if you identify another solution for COVID-19, it becomes an addition to the new or an addition to the existing knowledge of the COVID-19. So that's it. Then at the end of your process, definitely it an additional thing to the existing knowledge. It generates new knowledge. Why? You identified a new solution for the identified problem. Right? So, and the thing is, you can't do it simply, I mean, like essay type or like, like other subjects. So you have to follow a proper process that is called systematic process. So at the end of the particular systematic research process, you can identify new knowledge, then systematically generated new knowledge called science. I think now you have the idea about the term science. Science, now we know that there are two main streams, management, science and arts. In science, we know that science include systematically generated knowledge, or let's say universally accepted knowledge, including the science area. Why? They conducted large number of experiments, they conduct large number of research, and they try to analyze the existing problem systematically and scientifically. So that's it. If you follow a systematic and scientific process to analyze the existing problem, definitely it will generate a new knowledge. Then the particular theory or new knowledge is called as the science. Right? So definitely your findings will become a part of the science. Yes. Is it clear? Any clarification from your side, please? Any doubt, any clarification? If you have, you can ask or you can send questions through chat. Yes, please. Right. Right. Okay, now at the end of the previous slide, I mentioned science. Now, as I mentioned earlier, science, here it mentioned, it refers to a systematic and organized body of knowledge in any area of inquiry. Now, remember, if it's a science subject, let's say physics, chemistry, bioscience, they are science, no? Now remember, those subjects include well-organized body of knowledge, or let's say universally accepted body of knowledge. All those theories, concepts, principles are universally accepted. Now, in our, let's say, what? Oxygen, O2, then it's an accepted standard method, universally accepted way to recognize oxygen, O2. It's universally organized or universally accepted knowledge. Then remember, science subjects, they have systematic and organized body of knowledge. Can't argue on those because they are based on a lot of experiments. They conducted large number of experiments, and as a result of those experiments, they identified a particular solution. So science refers to a systematic and organized body of knowledge in any area of inquiry. So therefore, we use the term scientific method, right? Then in science subject, there are a lot of, methods, or let's say models available. They are considered as scientific methods or scientific models. There's no argument about those methods. There's no argument about those models. There's no, doubt about those, let's say, medical treatments, because they conducted large number of experiments, and then only they issue the particular medicine to the market. So that's it, right? So science refers to a system of acquiring knowledge. Now remember, the management also science, right? because science refers to a system of acquiring knowledge. Now here in management stream, we use another mechanism, another method to acquire knowledge. Now let's say marketing management. They conduct a lot of market research. Human resource management, again, they conduct a lot of research to collect information from their human resource. Financial management, they do a lot of research to identify financial requirements, allocation of funds. So that's the thing, right? Therefore, remember, science means not only chemistry, physics, bio, combined mathematics, etc. Science refers to the systematic acquiring of knowledge for any stream, whether it's art stream or management stream or whatever, IT or whatever. There's a mechanism, systematic mechanism to acquire knowledge. If there's a systematic mechanism to acquire knowledge, that is called science. Right. So scientific system, if it's scientific system, it uses observation and experimentation to describe the explain different phenomena. Now, if you identify a problem or subject or material or behavior, then definitely you have to observe the particular problem or observe the particular behavior, and you have to conduct a lot of experiments to identify the nature of the particular problem or the behavior, right? So that's the thing. Therefore, the term science also refers to the organized body of knowledge people have gained using this system. So the another thing is, if you can say something in reliable and accepted manner, this study it in accurate and valid way, it is called science. Now, scientific methods, or let's say science, they are 100% accurate. Scientific principles or scientific theories, they are 100% accurate. Therefore, we can trust, reliable. They are reliable, or we can trust them. And even we can accept them. That's the nature of science. Why? Science theories or concepts, principles, based on a lot of experiments. They conducted large number of experiments, and then only they develop the particular theory or the concept. Now let's say COVID-19 treatment. I think what is the, can you give example for the name of the particular injection? I forgot it. COVID-19 one type of injection they identified. Can you give an example? There are, I think, 5 type of medicines recognized. Yes, please. Do you have the idea?
Moderna.
Moderna, yes, yeah, Moderna. Now let's say there are 5, I think 5 alternatives. Moderna. Now they conducted large number of experiments, and then I think they injected to, I mean, let's say animals, and again they did a lot of experiments. Why? To identify the accuracy of the particular injection. Then only they released it to the market. Now we got it. Why? We identified it as an accepted treatment. We have an idea about the process. That's why we rely, or that's why we trust it. So remember, all those scientific knowledge or scientific things consist of huge process, scientific process. Therefore, normally, let's say society or individuals and society, they trust, reliable means trust, they trust it. And because of that, they accept it. That's why we took it, no? Moderna pigatta. Why we accepted? Because of our trust. And the thing is, we have the idea about the accuracy of the particular treatment. Accuracy because they conducted several experiments. So that's the thing. Therefore, science is a continuous process, and I mean result of a continuous process. And therefore, basically individuals trust the results of the particular process, and then later they accept it as an accurate result, right? Then therefore, you can be a scientist, but the problem is you need to think out of box. Still, we are inside the box. That's the thing. Now you have to break the frame. So you have to break the box, and then you have to identify various issues available in our society, available in our economy or political environment. And then you have to identify a suitable researchable problem and need to conduct a proper research, right? Now here I will give some examples. Now Lord Buddha, his thoughts, or let's say his thinking completely different at that time, because he analyzed things out of box. Then one example, world can be changed, thinking out of box. Lord Buddha, again Mahatma Gandhi, he think another way to answer the problems. So that's why he had a lot of threats, right? So these are some of the examples. Again, Albert Einstein, German-born theoretical physicist who developed the theory of relativity, one of the two pillars of modern physics. But at that time, they criticized those two pillars. Now we highly depend on these two pillars defined by Albert Einstein. So that's the thing. But the problem is, at that time, he analyzed those things in different way, out of the box. That's why he developed a new theory. He added a new thing to the existing knowledge at that time, right? So that's the thing. Thomas Alva Edison, again another example, right? So they did a lot of, experiment. Wright brothers, Oliver Wright and Wilbur Wright. They at that time, even aeroplanes, at that time it's impossible. At that time, somehow they try to develop, let's say, machinery or an instrument to fly, right? So it's again out of box, right? Now we have modern, aeroplanes, but they are highly, advanced, right? So these are, advanced aeroplanes. Even this one, right? So those are the things. Then basic requirement to conduct research, you have to think out of the box. Don't consider the same thing identified previous researchers. Don't use the previous, way to analyze the problem. You have to think about your own method, your own way to analyze the problem. Innovative method, creative method need to recognize to analyze the problem and provide solutions. Right. Then the next one. Now, from this point onward, actually, we want to consider existing, subjects, or let's say knowledge. I will move to this mode, then presentation mode. Now, there are two sciences available in our, let's say, academia, natural science and social science. Now, management to which category? Management relate to which category? Is it natural science or social science? Eranga? Hasni? Yes. Management, is it natural science or social? Yes. Social science. Even arts, social science. Natural science and non-social. There are a lot of sciences can divide into these two groups. First one natural and the second one social. Now, science can be grouped into two broad categories, natural science and social science. Natural science is the study of the behavior of naturally occurring object or phenomena, such as light, objects, matter, earth, human body, etc. So let's say bioscience, simply natural science. bioscience, then they study about human body or they study about animal body. Then botany is a science. Botany, they study about, let's say again, trees or let's say animals, right? So they are natural science. Even if you can study about earth, you can study about sun, geography. That also natural science, right? The natural sciences can further classify it into physical science, earth science, life science, and other. Now that's what I mentioned. Botany linked with what do you call? Natural environment, or let's say environmental botany. Then again, bioscience, most probably linked with life science. Then physical science, it depends on physical objects. Then earth science, most probably linked with geography. So that's the thing. Then natural sciences, there are so many other subclassifications or subsections available, right? Then in natural sciences, use the scientific method in order to study the world around us. Physics, chemistry, biology, geology, they use scientific methods. As I mentioned earlier, physics, chemistry, biology, geology, they are science subjects. They already develop a lot of what do you call theories, concepts, or what do you call knowledge based on a lot of experiments, right? So scientific method highly linked with natural sciences. But what about social science? Now, for us, actually, social science is very important. Now, social science is the study of the behavior of people. Now, management also linked with this, because we study about human resource in an organization. We study about customers under marketing, customer behavior. Then under financial management, we discuss about investors' behavior. And as I mentioned earlier, under marketing management, we discuss about customers' behavior, right? So in addition to that, under financial management, we discuss about financial managers' behavior. Again, board of directors' behavior, shareholders' behavior. So that's the thing. Therefore, management is a social science. Why? It studies the behavior of the people. Then such as individuals, group of people, firms, society, economy, and their individual or collective behavior. Now let's say, now these days we have huge economic crisis, we have huge political crisis. Now you can study it. Because, I mean, we know that economic crisis is again part of the behavior of the politicians. Or let's say part of the behavior of the previous decision makers. Again, political crisis because of our politicians. Okay, and again, let's say now we have huge for the inflation. It's because of, let's say, production, behavior of the producers or behavior of the suppliers or behavior of, let's say, various other people connected to the process, right? So that's the thing. The social science highly linked with individuals, group of people, firms, societies, economies, and their individual or collective behavior. Then social science again can classify into three groups. Psychology, the science of the mental behavior. Then if you have knowledge about psychology, then you can select topic based on your knowledge. But remember, it's science of mental behavior. Then definitely it linked with again medicine, right? Then socially, the science of the social behavior. If you want to conduct a research on customer behavior, it's linked with social behavior, sociology, plus management, right? Economics, the science of economic behavior, business firms, markets, and economy. So those are, sub-pillars of the social science. So, social science include three sub-pillars of the discipline. Psychology linked with mental behavior, sociology linked with social behavior, economics linked with economic behavior, especially business firms, marketing. Now remember, management linked with all these three, because sometimes you have to analyze customers, behavior, customers' perspectives, investors' perspective. Then it's linked with their mentality, mental behavior. Then sometimes you have to conduct a research about the, let's say, the entire customers of the banking system. It's actually target group is actually entire, customers of the customers who use ATM, let's say. Then it's linked with the sociology. Then economics, again, we have sometimes select business firms, listed companies. Sometimes you have to identify financial institutions, right? So remember, our area, it's under social science, and it management connected to these three pillars, more or less, right? Okay. Then humanities is under the social science. Humanities, there's another one under social sciences. Humanities means both humanities and social science studies. The human behavior. Humanities means studying the human behavior. Now remember, in universities, normally earlier we mentioned that art faculties. Now they are used the term humanities. Humanities and social sciences faculty. That's how now they use, right? Humanities and social science. Humanities mostly focus on traditions, culture, and heritage. Now I think you have the idea about humanities. Under humanities and social sciences and humanities component, we basically analyze the traditions, culture, and heritage of the society. Heritage means simply, let's say, the knowledge came from generation to generation, right? You are going to analyze the beliefs, individuals' beliefs. Now remember, normally our beliefs come from generation to generation, right? Now rebirth, I'm a Buddhist individual, so I believe rebirth. Even that came from the generation to generation, from Lord Buddha's time, right? So remember, humanities basically, or it based on our traditions, our culture, and our heritage. Heritage, again, as I mentioned earlier, came from generation to generation, right? So branches of humanities include law, language, philosophy, religion, mythology, international relations, gender and women studies, multicultural and regional studies, popular culture, art, music. Now these subjects are considered as humanities subjects or branches of humanities. Now remember, now you have the idea about humanities, right? Remember, there's a separate component called humanities and social science, right? It's normally under social science. Then humanities highly linked with our traditions, culture, and heritage. Then the subjects, or let's say branches of the humanities are, it includes law, whatever the law, business law, company law, industrial law, whatever. Then languages like Sinhala, Tamil, English, whatever the languages, philosophy, religion and mythology, international relations, gender and women studies, multicultural and regional studies, and popular culture and art, music. Even art, music also under humanities, because we know that we have our own music pattern. Sri Lanka music culture completely different from Western countries. Indian music culture completely different from Sri Lankan or let's say Western countries. They have their own tradition, music industry. Art again, different. In our country, let's say Maligawa, Danda Maligawa, another place, the art, or let's say paintings, completely different from, let's say, Western countries. So that's the thing. They actually our heritage or our tradition. So it depends on our culture. So that's the thing. Now, remember here, I try to explain the meaning of the term humanities. Now, remember, humanities is more subjective. Social science is more objective. Subjective and objective. Social science, highly objective. Humanities is more subjective. So later we will discuss the terms subjective and objective. So then only you can develop a research problem. Subjective matter and objective matter. Right. Then the next term is scientific thinking. Now remember here, I basically discuss various technical terms linked with your research methodology, right? Then the next term is scientific thinking. The purpose of science is to create scientific thinking or scientific knowledge. Now we know that at the end of the scientific process, it will generate a knowledge that is called scientific knowledge. Why? Those, facts, or let's say knowledge based on a lot of experiments. Therefore, we use the term scientific knowledge to identify the particular knowledge create through the scientific process. Now, scientific knowledge is governed by some scientific thinking. So, knowledge is actual result of scientific thinking. Scientific thinking is that mode of thinking about any problem. It's actually the way you analyze the problem. You have to use a scientific argument, valid argument to justify your problem. Then it's called scientific thinking. Simply, you can't say this is the problem available in our economy. This is the reason for the hyperinflation. This is the reason for current political crisis. No, you have to prove them properly through valid evidence. Now, let's say in a court, or let's say in a court, if there's a, let's say, court case, murder case, then judges need to analyze available evidences scientifically. That's the thing. They have to analyze them scientifically. That is actually scientific thinking. The way they think or way they analyze existing evidences to overcome the problem. In a court, again, they have a problem whether the particular person is, what do you call, the correct person or incorrect person, right? Then scientific thinking include making predictions, collecting data and analyzing data, documenting and communicating thoughts. So this is the scientific thinking process. Now, what are the sections included in scientific thinking? You have to make predictions. First, you have to make predictions, or let's say hypothesis. You have to make assumptions. Based on your assumptions, you have to collect data or information. Then you have to analyze those data, and then you have to record them, and then you have to communicate your correct decisions or recommendations to the society. So scientific thinking is defined as the inductive and deductive mode of thinking about phenomena. I will explain the term inductive and deductive later, but remember, scientific thinking include both inductive and deductive mode of thinking about the existing issue or the existing phenomena. So this is the idea of scientific thinking. It's actually a process to create scientific knowledge at the end. Yes, please. Any clarification? Any clarification from your side, please? Now remember, as I mentioned at the beginning, it will be difficult to understand, and today you have to go through the same slides and try to understand the things including this presentation. Right. So next one, scientific approach. Then what scientific research? What is the meaning of scientific research? Now remember, we conduct a scientific research. If it's a scientific research, it highly focuses on solving a problem. Then you have to conduct research to solve a problem. If you don't have problem, no need to conduct a research. That's the thing. Therefore, if it's a scientific research, first you want to identify your research problem. Why? Your target is to provide solution for the particular problem. And then you have to follow a proper procedure, step-by-step procedure, logical procedure, or let's say organized procedure to identify the problem, to gather data for the particular problem, and then to analyze those information, and then to provide valid conclusion or recommendation. So that's the process. Scientific research process include step-by-step logical process. Then basically you want to identify the problem under that process. Then you want to collect information for the particular problem. Then you want to analyze them properly. And finally, you want to provide a conclusion and recommendation to overcome those problems or issues. So that's the idea of scientific research. Scientific method is not based on experience and intuitions, but purposive and rigorous. Right? Here I will explain the meaning. Now here the meaning means and experience and intuitions. Now, I mean, basically, I mean, you can't, let's say, hush means assumptions. Hunches means assumptions. I mean, you can't base on assumptions. If it's based on assumptions, it's not a scientific method because you assume that. Let's say current economic crisis because of Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe. It's an assumption. Then you can't conduct a scientific research based on that type of, I mean, assumption. Right? And even you can't consider it based on your experience. Your own experience, no. You have to consider various other factors. Then only you can conduct a scientific research. In addition, that intuition means your knowledge. It based on your knowledge. No, you can't. I mean, you have to consider various subject areas, available theories and all, and then only you can analyze the particular problem. If you base on your own assumptions, your own experience and your own knowledge, that's not the scientific method. That is the idea of this one. Because of the rigorous way in which it is done, scientific research enables all those interested in researching and knowing about the same or similar issues to come up with comparable findings when the data are analyzed. That's the thing. Now, the same problem can analyze. Let's say Mr. A and Mr. B analyze the same issue, but their findings may be different. Their recommendations or their suggestions completely different, right? That's the thing. Okay. What scientific research, again, continue. Scientific research also help researchers to state their findings with accuracy and confidence. If it's a scientific research, if you follow a proper, or let's say systematic and scientific research process, then remember your findings 100% accurate. And you can, disclose those findings confidently. Confidence, you have the confidence, 100%, let's say 95% confidence level, 90% confidence level. I think those things discussed under statistics, regression analysis. I don't know whether, did you complete regression analysis, confidence level, 95% confidence level, 90% confidence level? Hello? Stat? Yes, please.
No, madam.
Stat wala? No. Standard curve. Standard curve. Probability ekath ekkala yanne. I think you covered, but we will discuss. But remember, when you submit, or when you, explain, or when you discuss your findings, you have to prove those findings. You have to you have to explain, or you have to provide your findings or solutions with 100% or 95% confidence level, accuracy level. So that is statistically you can prove it. So that's the idea. So if you use a particular statistical method, so 100, it's actually linked with the scientific research, right? So that's the thing. Then later we will discuss them. This helps other organizations apply those solutions when they encounter similar problems. So that's the thing. If it's a scientific research, then at the end you want to provide solutions for a particular problem. Then all the other similar type of, let's say, individuals or organizations, they can apply those solutions for the same problem. That's the thing. If they have the particular problem, then they can use your solutions to overcome their problem. If you follow scientific method, definitely your solution can apply for various other similar type of organization. That is called generalization. Now, let's say you conducted a research for a private bank, let's say commercial bank, to overcome a specific problem. Then your findings, let's say, proved 100% or 95% confidence level. Then those solutions can apply, let's say, for other private bank, let's say Ceylon Bank. If the Ceylon Bank has the same issue, they can use those solutions for their problem, because the previous researcher find solutions for the same problem at 100% or 95% confidence level. It means accurately. So for the another similar type organization, they can use the same to overcome their problem. That's the basically nature of the scientific research findings. These are more objective than subjective. Scientific research applies to both basic and applied research. So I will explain objective, subjective later, and again, basic research and applied research. Right? Okay. Then features of scientific research. Purposiveness. Now, these are characteristics of scientific research. Purposiveness, the target or the object. Definitely, you have to have an objective. If it's a scientific research, first you want to identify your research objectives, to find solution for this, to identify the relationship between, let's say, price level changes and economic growth, to find out the relationship between customer satisfaction and the business or profitability, customer satisfaction and the profitability. So you need to identify the objective of your research. So that's the idea of purposiveness. Need to have a particular task or a purpose or an objective or an aim. That's why. Then if it's a scientific research, definitely you need to identify your main objectives. Then de rigueur, it means it's very tough, or let's say tight process. Scientific research is a very rigorous process, very tough, very, tough process, rigorous process. Not an easy task, right? Now remember, it's not an easy task. I think this is the most difficult part of your study, right? Then the testability. If it's a scientific research, testability. Again and again, you can test it. Ability to test it, right? Then the replicability. So replicability means ability to convert it. Ability to convert your results into another similar type of organization. You conducted a research for commercial bank. The findings can convertible or replicability to, let's say, the Ceylon bank. Ability to convert them into the same scenario. Then the precision and confidence. Precision means accuracy. Confidence means you can trust them. Then if it's a scientific research, the findings are 100% precision or accurate, and you can trust them at 100% or 95% confidence level. Confidence means trust. Then the next one is the objectivity, target oriented. Basic objective is there, target is there, AM is there. Then scientific research are target oriented, object oriented, and generalizable, generalizability. Your results can generalize. That's what I mentioned. If you conduct a research for commercial bank, those findings can apply for the same type of organization. Let's say for the Ceylon Bank or National Bank. That's the idea of generalization. You can, you can use those solutions for same scenario, right? So if you conduct research for, let's say, Kandy district, customers of Kandy district, then definitely you can apply it for the customers for the Colombo district. If you use scientific method, right? Otherwise you can't do. That's the thing. If it's a scientific research, at the end, you can generalize the results for all the similar type of environment. So these are features of scientific research. Please try to memorize these features, right? Yes, please. Any thing? Right. Then the next term, I think in previous section I mentioned that I will explain these modes, deductive and inductive mode. They are actually very important terms. Now remember, basically we use deductive. You are undergraduates, so not postgraduates. Therefore, you can't use inductive method, mode of thinking. There are two types of mode of thinking, inductive mode and deductive mode. Inductive mode means it's again scientific approach. At the end of inductive mode of thinking, you are going to build a theory. Theory building science. Theory building. It means you are going to introduce a new theory to the existing knowledge. But remember, you can't do it because you are at undergraduate level. Therefore, you don't need to develop a new theory. It is actually impossible, right? So through your dissertation or through your research, you are not going to develop a new theory. If you want to develop a new theory, it is called theory building science. And the particular theory building science called inductive science or inductive mode of thinking. I think it's clear. Inductive mode of thinking. The goal is to explore theoretical pattern of observed data. Then inductive mode moves from particular situation to make broad general idea or theory. So then inductive, if it's an inductive research, let's say you select commercial banks in Sri Lanka, and you conduct a research, and then through your findings, you are going to develop a new theory. So that is called inductive, right? Somehow you selected financial institutions or commercial banks in Sri Lanka, then you recognize a special problem or the issue in commercial banks in Sri Lanka, and then you collected it data, and then you conducted scientific research, and at the end you identified a new theory, right? Relationship or whatever theory. So at the end you developed a new theory. Develop a new theoretical relationship. If you develop new theory, it's called inductive mode of theory. So the purpose of your research to develop a new theory building science. But remember, your research not inductive mode. Then definitely you have to conduct a deductive mode of thinking or deductive research. The goal of the researcher is to test concept and pattern known from theory using new empirical data. Now here you have the theoretical knowledge, as I mentioned earlier. Now you have the knowledge about marketing theories, human resource theories, financial management theories, and various other theories. Now you are going to test the particular theory through your research problem. Then you have to identify the most suitable theory for your research problem. Based on the theory or based on your theoretical knowledge, you are going to provide solutions. So that's the idea. So not then the deductive mode is actually theory testing science, not theory building. It is theory testing. You are going to test the existing theory by applying the particular theory for the practical scenario or the practical problem available at the moment. So that is called deductive mode or the deductive science. Therefore, deductive theories or deductive research moves from general theories to specific situations. So make a difference. Inductive moves from particular situation to both general theory, particular problem issue analyze karna, then move to broad theory. But deductive research, you have the theory, broad theory, let's say demand theory, demand and supply theory. Now you have the idea about demand and supply theory, you have the idea about the theory, then from particular theory, you are going to apply the demand and supply theory for the, let's say, agricultural sector or for the manufacturing oriented organization. Then you have the common theory, demand and supply theory. Now you are going to apply demand and supply theory for the, let's say, manufacturing oriented organizations. Then general theories to specific situation. So that's the difference. Then test the theory is exist in particular situation. So you have the theory, you are going to test whether this theory is applicable for this problem or not. That's the idea. So that's the idea of theory testing science. I think it's very clear. Inductive means theory building. Deductive means theory testing. Are you okay? Now remember, this is most important part of your research. You want to identify whether your research topic is inductive or deductive. It means you are going to develop a theory or you are going to test this existing theory. Is it clear? Hello? Any feedback from your side, please?
Okay, man.
Yeah, little bit difficult, right? Again and again, we will discuss same thing later, but basically you have to have idea about these two methods. And remember, you are linked with this one, theory testing, not with theory building. Hypothetical deductive method, that's what I mentioned. So this is the deductive method. It means first you develop a hypothesis and then you are going to test it. So that's it. So deductive method, this is actually the summary of the process of deductive method. Now you are going to test a theory. That's the idea of deductive method. Existing theory is there. Market, let's say demand and supply theory, then whatever. Inflation or let's say price level theories, then again under financial management, we discuss about various types of capital structure theories, dividend theories, right? So you need to identify particular theory, right? So under deductive method, you are going to test existing theory, then this is the entire research process. If you want to use hypothesis, deductive mode, first you want to identify the broad problem area. Area identify problem area, not the problem. First you want to identify the broad problem area. Then you want to define your problem statement. Then you want to develop your hypothesis. Hypothesis means the way, can be, that's the thing. There's a relationship between this and this. That's the simple idea behind the term hypothesis. Then you want to determine measures to evaluate the particular hypothesis. For that, you have to collect data. You have to analyze them by using specific software. And then you want to interpret your findings. So this is the entire process for deductive method. Then we have discussed them, right? But remember, this is the process, steps including the deductive method. Right. Okay, now exercise. Identify the broad problem area. Okay, now read this and try to develop problem statement, or simply you want to develop a question, research problem, researchable problem. Now this is the case and you want to develop the research problem, including this paragraph. Okay, I will give 5 minutes. Develop a research problem. Problem you want to analyze or you want to provide solution. That's the idea. Yes, tell me. I will give 5 minutes. Now it's only, okay, let's say 2:30, then 2:35. You have to come up with a specific research problem. I will give a hint. You have to start it with what? Question form, what? So develop. If you develop a research problem, simply you can communicate it to me through chat, or can, unmute your mic and then you can mention it. As I mentioned earlier, you can start with the question form what. Now here in this case study, Chief Information Officer of the firm observed that the newly installed management information, it means the company installed the MIS system for their organization. But the problem is particular, let's say, responsible officer, Chief Information Officer made a complaint that it means the system, this installed MIS system is not used by the middle managers up to expected target or the expected level. And they always try to, they always approach CEO, some other computer experts, and they try to get the help from them because of, let's say, they don't have the idea about the particular MIS system. So based on this, you want to identify the problem and develop a broad, what is the problem with newly introduced MIS? Okay, one student mentioned, what is the problem with newly introduced MIS? Others, is it the problem Now one student mentioned, I will copy it. The research problem. Now this is what one student mentioned, the research problem. What is the problem with newly introduced MIS? Is this the research problem? Others, now you can start your discussion. Please support me by giving your idea. Now, is this the research problem? Or is this a problem available in this organization? Now, this is actually, there's a problem. Now they came to you and then they ask solution for this. But the problem is, before you provide solution, you want to recognize the problem. So that's the task of this exercise. Now you want to identify the problem available in this organization. Now one student mentioned the problem available in this organization is linked with the introduced MIS. What is the problem or what are the problems of newly introduced MIS? Is it the problem? Tell me. It means there's a problem in newly introduced MIS. Please, others, you can, give your comments, support Karan. Is it? Yes. Others? It means there's a huge problem about newly installed MIS. That's your idea. Then only
Could be a problem.
Sorry?
Could be a problem related to the training that was given to the middle level manager. Yeah,
definitely. Now you have to consider, now they are analyzing angle. Now you can think, from different point. Yeah, one student mentioned what could be done for newly installed MIS for it be worked. Oh, that's true. Right. That also, what could be done for newly installed MIS for it be worked. Okay, I will copy it. Now this question more or, your question, okay, it is this. Now the second student, what could be done for newly installed MIS for it be worked? Nearly 75% correct. Right? Now, the research problem or the problem statement, what could be done for newly installed MIS for it be worked? Indirectly, okay, right? But, now this is the problem. I will give it. Now, check this. Now, remember, this is the research problem in this case. What should be done to increase the use of newly installed MIS by our middle managers? Is it true or not? Now, this is the problem. Why? Our middle managers, they don't use it properly, or they don't use it 100%. Or they have lot of issues, right? Always they try to come to CEO, other computer experts. They ask help, right? They can't take a decision their own. They need help from others. Recognize there was indeed a problem or develop broad. Basically, there's a huge problem about middle managers, isn't it? Am I correct or not? Now, the second question more or less linked with the question, what could be done for newly installed MIS for it be work? Now, this is actually indirectly answer. Now, definitely we want to give proper training for middle managers. then he indirectly asks that, right? Now the problem is, this is the real situation. Now middle managers, they don't have the, idea about this, let's say software or MIS. So therefore, the problem is the low level of, low level of knowledge or low level of application of the MIS system. So this is the research question or this question or problem statement. So remember, if you identify a problem, then at the end, you want to develop your problem statement. Then remember, this is the first step of your research process. You need to identify a problem, and then you want to develop a problem statement. Then basically, by using the term what, right? Then you want to develop a research problem for the identified problem. Is it okay? Are you okay with that? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Right. So then the next step is, now this is actually, let's say, raw information. Without modifying anything, simply they gave the problem available in their organization. Then these are simply raw information, raw material, right? So you have to develop a proper problem statement. So remember, then I will give an exercise. You have to identify problem, then you want to convert your problem into problem statement. So this is how we want to develop our problem statement. Then the most important section of your research is developing a problem statement. Then the entire research need to link to this problem statement, because here you recognize the correct problem of your research. So the way it's actually, you want to have idea about the, what you call, scientific writing as well. Now the same problem, this problem, simply problem as it is given here, raw problem given here, but you want to modify it. When you submit your problem through a research, let's say dissertation or proposal, you have to, polish it. You have to develop a problem statement by polishing your problem. The polish this is called actually scientific writing. The same problem written by using, let's say, proper language, proper method. So the same problem written very, what do you call, very organized manner, scientific method, taking on to some of the middle level managers, because sometimes middlemen, they have the idea about MIS. Taking on to some of the middleman level managers, the CIO find that that many of them have very little idea as to what the MI is all about, what kinds of information it can provide, and how it access and utilize it. The CIO uses the internet to explore further information to the lack of use of management information systems in organization. So CIO identified the utilization rate is very low. The search indicates that many middleman level managers, especially the old timers, are not open to new ideas or ways of solving problems. So basically we know that middle age or old, let's say 50, 55, they don't like to use this new technology. That's what the old timers are, not open to new ideas or ways of solving problems. Lack of knowledge about what the MIS offers is also found to be another main reason why some managers do not use it. This information helps CIO to narrow the board problem area and refine the problem state. Then the problem statement need to recognize how do the define the problem state, right? So previous one. Now up to this actually, right? So then the objective, as I mentioned earlier, at the end of the problem statement, you want to mention your research problem. So this is how you want to write it. So this is the problem statement. At the end of the problem statement, you want to mention the problem. So what should be done? Increase the use of newly installed MIS by our middle managers. Right. So to test it or to research it, you have to develop hypothesis. Well, we don't have the idea about their application level or their level of knowledge about MIS. Even we don't know how many middle managers, they have the exact idea about MIS. What about their level of knowledge, whether it's 50% idea, 75% idea, we don't have the idea. So therefore, you have to develop a hypothesis. CIO develops a theory incorporating all the relevant factors contributing to the use of MIS by managers in the organization. From such a theory, CIO generate various hypotheses for testing. Knowledge of the usefulness of the MIS would help managers to put it together greater use. So the hypothesis, it means assumption. If we provide, let's say, a training or let's say knowledge about the usefulness of MIS, definitely it will help to increase the usage rate. So this is the assumption. Okay, to overcome this problem, you have to provide a proper training or let's say knowledge about the particular MIS. Then by providing the knowledge about the usefulness of MIS, the managers, definitely they will use it up to greater extent. Now, make up training use karai. But remember, this is an assumption. For an example, government organization, then our employees send for large number of training programs, different type of training programs, but still they are at the same level. That's the thing. Then the thing is, this is an assumption. Then based on this assumption, okay, we can send them for training programs to enhance their knowledge about the usefulness of MIS. But the problem is, we don't know whether we can, achieve our targets or not. But remember, this is called hypothesis. Hypothesize. Okay, will this maybe, right? Can accept or can reject. Right. So then later you have to, develop measures and data collections for the same process, but I don't explain this, right? Because this is, for this, definitely you have to collect information from your middle managers. Data analysis will become later, and then you have to interpret the collected information from your middle managers, right? Now, this is how we want to do a research, but no need to go through this, what do you call, 26th, even hypothesis, 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th, right? But today's target is this. Slide 23 and 24. Now, based on these two slides, I will give an exercise. Then you have to come up with your, research, or let's say not research problem actually, right? Simply you want to identify a problem in an organization, in a society, and then you have to rewrite it properly like this problem statement. And at the end of your problem statement, you have to mention your researchable problem. So this is the exercise. Can you, if you want, you can write down it. Hello? You want to write down it? Shall I read it again?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now, this is linked with, first, remember, this is linked with slide number 23 and 24. Slide reference to slide number 23 and 24. Okay, write down. Identify a broad problem area. Identify a broad problem area in an organization. I don't know whether you are working or not. If you are working, then you can select a problem from your organization, right? Identify a broad problem area from an organization or from economy or from society, right? Because this is linked with social science now. Management highly linked with social science. Social science, economics, etc. Identify a broad problem area. So you have to write simply the recognized problem. No need to use scientific method to identify the problem. It's up to this, right? So I will remove this too. So this is how you want to identify it. Then second step, second one, define your problem statement. Define your problem statement. About 3 o'clock. I will finish this at 3 o'clock. So I will finish. Right. Develop your or define your problem statement by using proper language or proper mechanism. Slide number 24, right? And identify your research problem. Right? So you have to do this exercise, and I will inform Chanaka to create a place to upload your answer on or before next Thursday. Because next Saturday, I think we have classes. Before that, I want to go through those issues or go through your exercise. Is it okay? So the deadline for the submission, simply, I mean, only to half page, most probably, right? Type, so, or written, and then you have to submit the photograph of the particular written document. So you have to submit it on or before next Thursday. And then I will check your ideas and remember, time to time I will allocate marks for those assessment. I mean those what you call practical components. Now remember, this is step-by-step process, as I mentioned, a research process. You can't complete a research at once. So step by step, I want to train you. So this is the first activity to go to a proper research. Is it okay? Any clarification? Yes, please. Anything else you want to ask from me? It means no issues, no problem. No, I don't know whether you have 100% issues, 100% understood or 100% not understood, accepted or rejected. I assume that I developed hypothesis. You understood all those things I explained at today's session. So based on today's session, you have to complete an exercise and you have to upload it to the created place in your LMS. I think Google Classroom is there. So I will inform Chanaka to create a place to upload your small assessment. So that's the end of today's session. So if you don't have any clarification, I will wind up the session. So, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your participation, and please try to complete this, and we'll meet next Saturday. Right. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
madam.
you.